Hi, everyone. This is Nicole Troutman, Research and Instruction Librarian with Tennessee State University, here to share with you yet another open educational resource that you can access through our library's website. Now, for those of you who are new to this channel, an open educational resource is a collection of free scholarly resources that you can access and you can use for your research. Now, I know many of you have probably been through this before, but I'm going to start by getting you to our library's website so that you can see where to access it from there. And of course, I have put the links in the description to make it a little easier to get to in the future. So let's get started. So in your browser bar, you want to type Tennessee State University Library, hit enter. Scroll down and here you'll see this link here, Libraries and Media Center. Go ahead and click there. And here is our homepage. From here, you're going to go to Use Our Services, scroll down to Scholarly Communications, select Open Educational Resources, second from the bottom. And here is our research guide for open educational resources. Now, if you would like to learn more about open educational resources, this first section shows all sorts of information on how they are, why they are, their benefits. It is a great place to start. Today, here we go. Today I'm going to go over open educational resources with you. Now we have our collections here on the left. You see all of these different subjects. If any of these subjects might fit in with what you're researching, definitely go ahead and select the subject and you can look at the open educational resources listed in there. Today I'm going to go to General OER because I don't know what everybody's researching, and these tend to have a variety of topics that they cover. So we are going to continue our exploration of OLL. I'm going to scroll all the way down. Okay. So today we are going to continue our exploration of resources that can be found through the online library of literature. So today we're going to continue our exploration of resources that can be found through the online Library of Liberty. To access that, we're going to scroll down. So today we are going to continue our exploration of resources that can be found in the online Library of Liberty. With that, you're going to scroll down to free ebooks, and you'll find the Online Library of Liberty right here. So this is their main page. If you would like to learn more about it, you can go back to some of my previous presentations because I did one on this. Today we're going to hover over Liberty Fund Network and select EconLib. Now this is a really interesting resource. This covers a lot of international economics and has articles and books about international relations. So here on their first page, you've got their selected article, likely most recent, that you can read. Here's another collection of recent articles added to this website. Here are some resources that they feature. You can also get to Econ Talk through here, which is their collection of podcasts, Econ Log, which is another collection. And you scroll down a little further and you get into videos and conversations. If you want to explore the Encyclopedia of Economics by alphabet, you can do so here. Let's open this in a new page. So here's E, and you can select names of authors there. And then here are some other special articles related to the encyclopedia. You've got biographies, encyclopedia articles. And then down here you have all the general website information, contact, publications, resources, etc. So we are going to scroll back up to the top. Let's start with EconLog, which is a blog in a new browser. So here is the homepage to the blog. So you'll see recent posts. There are categories you can explore. Here is an archive of the contributors. Here's their classic series. They have book club that you can join if you so desire, which we will get to that. There is a page that actually has a link to subscription if you would like to join that. And here are some book reviews and suggested readings you can explore. Now, if you want to browse this by author, you'll click here. And here is the list of authors, and you could just choose an author. Say you become familiar with certain authors on here that you really like their stuff and you want to follow what they produce. You could select the author that way and look to see what they have. If you want to browse by topic, it will take you here where they have a broad list of topics that you can choose from. Let's open economics and culture in a new tab. And here it will show you related articles. And of course, you can select more entries until that button goes away. They have a lot of articles on here. You can browse by date, which has them all laid out. Most recent. Going back, you can select a category if you want to hone down the by date. Business economics. So here's everything most recent and going back that's related to business economics. And you can also search EconLog. Now this you will see in each of these headings. You could search Econ Talk, articles, etc. And you'll notice that all of those options are available here. So you don't necessarily have to go to one of these to search for different types of resources. You could select them all here. So let's go ahead and put in American economics and see what we get. And here we have a bunch of different contributions related to that in the EconLog. And of course, if you want to select other resource types, you could do that and hit search again. And here it will actually show you, here's your list, but if you look here, it will actually show you how many resources they have under each resource type. And if you want to go to just one of those, it's like that. Now, RSS, this seems to be more of kind of an explanation on their posts and feeds. And so if you want to have an understanding of, full text versus excerpts only feeds, you can check that out here. And then, of course, there's a subscribe button to subscribe to this website. Let's try it. So here's my email address, name, last name, 11, 6. Subscribe. Need to confirm you're a human. And look at that. We're subscribed. That easy. Free subscription. Now on Econ Talk, it won't take you directly to the home page. So let's go to latest episodes. So these are all of their most recent podcasts that you can browse. There's some, of course, that have caught my interest. We have my wonderful literature obsession covered here. But yeah, it's really amazing how many different subjects they cover in this resource collection based around international economy. So you can check by latest episodes. You can browse by date, which it's the same layout as the last one. Browse by guest. So say you get really familiar with the podcast and there are certain guests that you really like to hear the input of, you can actually go and select something that just shows you podcasts with that guest involved. And it will bring them all up for you so you can go ahead and explore them. You can browse by category. Again, you get a list of categories you can choose from. Let's do public choice. Let's see what they have for that. And here you get a list of public choice podcasts. And of course, many times you can hit the more entries button because they have a whole lot of podcasts on here. Here you can browse extras they have, which right now it seems like there's only one item in the extras, but you can keep an eye on it and there might be more coming up in the future. If you're impressed by this, it wouldn't be bad to watch out for. You could search Econ Talk. Again, similar to before, you've got all of these different resource types you could search, or you could just slim it down to that. And then here is information on the RSS feeds for their podcasts. Now, if we go to articles, we can hit latest articles and they'll show you the most recent editions they have by month. And you can browse through. As you can see, there are none here or here. So the most recent is going to be June. But each of these months will have their most recent or their articles from that month. Do more entries, and it should take you back further. So you can go through here if you want to go see their articles by date. We can go to Liberty Classics, which is a collection of really good articles that they had published on here. You could browse by author, browse by date, which you've seen this layout in the last two. And here you can actually year and month. I don't think we went over that before. And then search articles. If there's something specific you're looking for, you can search for it here. Now, here is a collection of books you can browse on their main books page. If you want to hone it down to bios, here is their biographies of the authors they have. You can also browse the books by date. You see this goes back quite far. So we've got some really good old quality resources in this section. You can browse by author. And then you can search books with that same search window that we've been seeing. When we go to the encyclopedia, it starts with the index, so you can explore specific sections. Got featured topics, related entries, some popular topics you can explore. And of course, you can go biographies by last name down here. Here we'll take you straight to browse by author, so you can select an author if there's someone specific that you really like their works and the information they provide in the encyclopedia. You can browse by selecting their name. You can browse by title. So this will show all the titles in the encyclopedia. You also have access to the biographies here. And here's our wonderful search window, so you can search the encyclopedia. The guide section you can look at. Now this is actually pretty cool. This shows you the different kind of resources you have. Here they've got a no due date. So this is where you can actually subscribe for their reading groups. And they'll go through books and they'll send you different books to read throughout the year to be explored as a group. Just put your email address in here and click subscribe. You could click here if you're a resident of the United States and Canada. If you're international, you can select here. Here we've got college topics. So if you've got college classes coming up, or if you're teaching college classes and you need resources, you can check here and it'll go more in depth on certain topics. So you can explore those. And they also have high school topics. So if you have a kid who's a high school student, or if you're a high school student and you happen to be on here because you're curious about research, this is a really good resource for any economic topics you might be discussing in class. You can come down through here and get more in-depth materials on it. Here is a link to subscribe to the Quick Picks. Now these are a monthly collection of resources by topic, and it's for teachers and students alike, anybody who's interested. You can subscribe to this. And then here are search guides, or here's our search box. So you can search the guides for something specific if you want to hone it down just to that. For videos, we have an index. So you can look at these videos they have available. So you select one and it gives you all the information about the video and the video itself. Or we can search videos for a certain topic, same as we've been doing. So I really hope that this resource proves to be beneficial to you. You can learn a lot of really great stuff on here. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything you'd like me to cover, please feel free to reach out to me. My email address is in the description. And until next time, good luck with your research.